Hello, my name is Shanika Hall, and I am interviewing for an English teacher position. I am applying for an English teacher position for grades 9 through 12. My certification includes having a clear and renewable Georgia teaching certificate. My areas of certification are English Language Arts 7 through 12, Gifted in Field, AP Literature, and School Counseling K through 12. My qualifications are that I have obtained my Bachelor's of Arts in English Literature, teaching certification, and a Master's of Arts in Education. I have 13 years of teaching experience. Philosophy of education. I believe in the cliche that all children can learn, but not as a blanket statement. All children, like all adults, learn at their own pace, at their own level of understanding, and through the lens of their individual learning style, all of which is grounded by their perspective, granted by their life experiences. Classroom management plan. My classroom management plan begins before the first day of school. This is the time I visualize and decide how my classroom will run throughout the year. My classroom will run as a teacher-centered classroom, with aspects of student-centered being added as the school year progresses. The class rules are simple and positive. They are the 4 B's. Be on time. This sets the climate of the class and gets the students in a learning mindset. Be respectful. They are to respect themselves and others. Be prepared. Come with all necessary tools to work and be productive. And be kind. Show kindness to all. I have high expectations of my students to excel in all that is put in front of them to do. Students and people alike will naturally rise to the occasion when they know you believe in them and will accept nothing less than their best. The layout of my classroom is one that allows for clear sight lines from student to teacher to the board. The seating is arranged for flexible adjusting from individual to group work. The room has clearly labeled sections for students to go in order to gather information, read books, or use any station that will help them to be successful in the class. The management system will be implemented on the first day of school by explaining the class rules, expectations, class procedures, and other important information for the classroom to move smoothly. Question and answer sessions will happen to ensure students' understanding of this information. All of this will be revisited as the weeks continue to ensure the students' continued understanding. Different school models. I believe the school should adopt a charter school model. Charter schools are able to adopt a specialized focus for their schools. Charters are allowed to see a need that is not being met, create a charter with a participating school system, and sometimes directly with the state, and provide an educational experience tailored to the needs, the career goals, and the educational focus of a particular student population. Oftentimes, these schools can create their own curriculum, assessment options, and even select through an application process the students that can gain admission to the school. With this model, schools lessen their behavior, academic, truancy, and absenteeism problems due to the students' engagement and desire to be at the school because it meets their needs in a way that many traditional modeled schools cannot. Effective lesson planning and design and student role. Effective lesson planning is an integral part of a well-run classroom. It is the catalyst used to teach effective lessons to students in order for them to master the standards that are given to them. In my lesson planning procedure, I will use the backwards design approach. In using backwards design, I will start my planning with the end in mind. I will first create the summative assessment that will align with the standards I will teach. After creating the assessment, I will design activities that will assist in the student's learning of the standard. Next, I will teach the standard since my roadmap has been crafted with the standard being at the forefront of the process. After teaching comes the activities previously created from the summative assessment. After the assessment, I will evaluate the data and give timely feedback to the students. From the data, I will also ascertain if reteaching is needed or if we can move on to the next standard. The students' role in the learning process is to be active participants in their learning, and as Rystad said in his video, Assessment for Learning, they will also be a learning resource for others in that they will pre-edit, use checklists to help improve others' works, use peer-to-peer tutoring, and show ownership of their work by acting as a resource to gather information before coming to the teacher. Assessment matters. As a classroom teacher, assessments matter a great deal. It is a gauge to help me know if the student is mastering the standards I am teaching. The summative assessments give me an overall view of how they master the concept at the end of the teaching of a unit. The formative assessments give me an ongoing scale that helps me to know how much understanding is taking place throughout the learning of the standard and whether I need to reteach some areas or move forward. Standardized summative assessments help me to know strengths and weaknesses of my students so I can meet them where they are and work to help them achieve at higher levels. Professional learning communities. The nature of professional learning communities requires gathering around a shared vision for student learning, sharing leadership and practice, cooperation for collective learning, and application. Calkin said this in his essay, Relationships Between Professional Learning Community, Bureaucratic Structure, and Organizational Trust in Primary Educational Schools, on page 1622 of the essay. I believe that it is imperative to have one or several PLCs in the midst of the school. As an English teacher, I would benefit greatly from a professional learning community with other English teachers as a department. Also, a professional learning community focusing on my grade level would be beneficial as well. In a professional learning community focused classroom, I would expect to see aligned standards and activities to other teachers' classes that are in this same professional learning community. I would also expect to see students in their own learning communities in the class as they have seen the teachers modeling this community type throughout the year. I would like to thank you for your time and consideration throughout this interview process.